Hey, welcome everybody. This is in the belly of the Sarlacc. The You're
I'm
working on
working
it.
on
He's,
it,
he's
guys. I'm
trying to
working on it.
perfect his sand people speak. Sand peopleese. I don't know what it's called. What is their language called? That's interesting. That's something I
Hey,
got to
you're not
look
allowed
up.
to call us San.
Next week I will come to
You
you.
can't call us San Luis.
Yeah, well, sand peopleitis is what you catch if you sleep with them.
They're Sand
Yeah.
Peopleites.
So let's get into this. Oh my
Oh,
God,
right,
episode.
right.
Holy crap, right? First thing, it's very clear that at the very beginning, Gorgo
Yeah.
understands what Din is saying and doesn't want him to leave.
Yep.
And that's
Yes,
going to
that's
come to
very
be a
true.
conflict soon because he's going to have to go for training.
Yes. Just like any. No, I was going to say, like with any parent, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to separate, and we're seeing there's a real bond between Din and.
But Din
Goku.
is willing
Definitely.
to release that bond. It's Goku, the child, that's having the trouble. And that's a tough trouble to overcome.
You ain't going nowhere.
What do you think his first words would be if he were to speak English?
Goku, probably food.
Or ball, one of the two.
Food?
yeah.
Or
That
What
would
if he
be
calls him
weird
Dada?
because no one said it, and where do you know me from? Maybe it's a possibility. Who knows? That'd
That'd
funny.
be funny,
That would
but
be
I don't
funny,
think they're
actually.
going the comedy route. We'll see what happens. Anything's possible.
We'll get to the comedy
If
later.
you
of
want
this
comedy,
episode.
what I want to know is how is it that the Mandalorians don't burn their legs with that damn jetpack?
It's the pants. I'm telling you, they're corduroy.
I guess, man. But holy crap! Even
It's
in
the
the
suit,
you,
the suit.
You figure the metal would heat, and the inside would end up heating. I don't know.
But you're assuming you're assuming, yeah.
But it's
you're
that special
assuming that's
Mando
fire. That could be some kind of cold fusion. It could be blowing ice
Then,
for all we know.
then
Who
their
knows?
legs
But
would
I'm
freeze.
just-
So he can't.
Either way, it's all
That's
sci-fi.
true, yeah.
They have
I'm
some kind of
overthinking
science
it.
behind it.
I'm getting all Star Trekky with it. All right, I'll calm down.
Don't. That's a bad word here. Don't you ever say that word
Well,
here again, unless it's about the board
I'll
or
say
Q.
this. I liked how Din showed that he really doesn't understand the Force. Like he was looking for some kind of mechanical control for the Seeing Stone. Like he doesn't get the Force.
right.
That was cool. That was really cool.
At all. And like, why
He was
is
brought up
that?
as a Mandalorian. He's not. They're not teaching about Jedi's. He's
I'd say
completely
it'd be
isolated.
limited knowledge in the universe. Like the Force would at best be like a little fable, like walking on water and turning, water into wine. Like very few people would see it in action.
Right.
So most people probably wouldn't believe it, and they definitely wouldn't have studied it or understood it.
Yes, I think a lot of them. Because keep in mind, it's 30 years after, in this timeline where the Jedi was all taken out. So, you do with propaganda, you can get people thinking they don't exist.
Right.
It's all fake. Fake news. I don't know. I'm just saying it. So there's a possibility that the Empire made sure people thought that Jedi don't exist. Who knows? There's a lot that can go in the backstory, probably in the books that I don't follow. But it makes sense. I can see your point, though. I can see your point.
So then, oh my God, at one point, like I just literally screamed at my TV, "Slave One!"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the best intro.
At first, I was confused at first. I was like, wait, what? Oh, like, and then I got it. Yeah, I was like wondering why Slave One was showing up, and then it all clicked. It was great, and I love how they used the guy who played Django in the first movies to play him in this. It was great.
Just a simple man looking for, trying to make his way in the universe.
Yeah.
I gotta say this before I forget. Okay, I'm gonna say this once. I keep this in mind. Again, I have an issue with the Slave One, and I'm gonna be honest here. It goes back So where was the Slave One parked for all
I don't-
these years? Just like in that Rise of Skywalker, you could just park a ship and no one's going to f with it. The Jawas, they're.
I
right?
feel like he's
the
had it
Jawas
this
could have
whole
got
time.
to that at
It
any
never,
time.
like,
So,
it never, like,
what was
It
up with
didn't
that?
get swallowed with
yeah.
him.
So right after, he probably just went back to his
And-
ship without his armor and just took off, and he's been riding around in
No.
his ship this whole time.
Well, how long did it take for him to get out of the Sarlacc? That would be the question.
Right. Okay. Wait. Maybe I'm. That's what I'm talking. That's the question. So that's what I'm thinking. Because I don't know. Was it the same day? Was it 3 months later? That's what I'm getting at. Because we found out with the Jawas. Because remember, they're on Tatooine. They got to the Razor Crest not even a day. I hate to point that out, but I'm glad to see Save One. But you put that in the universe that Jawa's going to get your shit. You leave yourself out hanging, they're going to get to it.
You do make a good point.
Well, I would say this. Most likely it was parked in like Jabba's secure palace parking, right? The valet parking for Jabba's place.
He has the bounty hunter of the month spot.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Most thermal detonators used in a single week.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, if he got out, like say a few weeks later or a month later or whatever it would have taken, I could see that it would still be secured because it was not like well known that Jabba got killed that day. That sandbar blew up in the middle of nowhere.
I know it was a monkey wrench question, but I had to put it out there because I thought it was funny. Because I was all excited when I saw Slave One. I go, yeah! But I go, well, wait a minute, where's it been all this time? So that's what.
No, it's a valid question.
But badass, though. Completely badass.
Yeah. I mean, it's Boba Fett, so you know he got his ship back in the last 30 years. Like, that's probably another side quest or another side show we'll get, when we do the Boba Fett series.
Yeah. But was it, I'm going to ask you guys, when Boba
Yeah.
Fett was going at it with the Stormtroopers, were you wishing he'd knock off a helmet and show a younger version of him? I thought for sure they're going to do something like that. Because we met.
That'd be
Oh,
crazy.
that would have been
But
really
at this
cool.
point, the stormtroopers aren't all clones anymore.
That's
Right.
okay. They got some wrecks in there. That's okay. They got some older models. They're still flying jets that are freaking 30 years old. I can see a couple of freaking Jagos running around. That would be pretty
I don't know.
cool, though. Just see what an old, clone trooper look like.
But they would be old like him because they'd be way older than him because all of their
Twice as
aging was accelerated.
Yeah, well, still. Yeah, you got a point there, but it would have been cool seeing an old Django in a stormtrooper outfit, which would have been cool. But I'm with you, though.
Right.
I'm on the same page.
What about
But,
that
come on.
weapon that Boba was using? That thing was destroying those stormtroopers.
Oh, the
That staff.
the Banta staff.
I think that's
yeah.
based off a
Man.
New Zealand weapon because it's definitely he was doing those moves. I'm going to get
Right.
emails on that shit, but I can assure you that is based off a New.
It's probably a type of Viking weapon. I would
No. 'Cause
imagine.
I swore I seen some New Zealand weapons that's shaped the same way, but a ball at the end, made out of wood, but not with all the jagged, sharp edges like this one or the shape. They made it look different. But I'm almost positive there's a way. I want to look at it while we're. I'm gonna verify that while we're talking, because I want to know that's.
Good. You get to work. Chop chop.
I'm typing away.
That stormtrooper scene was amazing, though. Like, did you guys realize realize that the episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And then, so that whole stormtrooper scene was like straight out of a scene from Desperado with the chick shooting it down on the mountain with them like 1 against 20. Like, it was such a Robert Rodriguez scene. It was so badass to see done with stormtroopers.
That's crazy hearing that. That is so crazy hearing that.
It shows why they sent more than one landing vessel to Normandy.
They did. That's true.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, because that was basically like at the very beginning when they started walking off and they were getting picked off. I'm like, oh, it's fucking Saving Private Ryan right there.
Right.
But how badass was it when the stormtroopers got Indiana Jones? Oh my god!
Yeah, that big ball.
That was a yeah.
Yeah, and
That's definitely a callback.
Fennec really proved to be badass in this episode. She wasn't that interesting the first time we saw her, but wow, she got her Star Wars cred today.
Hell yeah, she was way badass. And she's only like 5 feet tall probably, and to push that rock would totally never be able to. Never mind.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. what I was impressed with was that backward somersault that she did coming.
Yeah.
off
No,
the top of
okay,
that
no,
mountain.
that's straight
That
out.
was
Of,
the
that was
shit.
straight out of the Avengers. That's what Hawkeye did that in the Avengers movie. As soon as I saw that, I said, that's
well,
cool, but that's straight out of.
Right.
Yeah, I must not have been paying attention.
but so
'cause
did
Hawkeye
so did
didn't
Antonio
surprise me.
Banderas. And,
So
and
okay, so who
Desperado.
did it first? It'll be so everybody stole from Antonio Banderas.
Well, yeah,
so think
Desperado
about.
would
You're
have to-
right. You might be right about that. This may be Robert Rodriguez saying, "Listen, bitches, we did this first."
Yeah.
That's a good part.
That was a cool ass move. I liked it.
Yeah.
I love that how they did the connection with the Seeing Stone. How it was an actual tangible something that happened.
Yes,
Right.
that was cool.
Do you-
You know,
No, I was.
because the Force is always so just mystical. You never see a connection when they move something with their hand. You know, you never see a connection really with anything. Yet here, there was clearly something going on.
You got a
know?
point. I think only time you see any kind of visual presence of the Force is done by, like the Emperor, right?
The Force ghosts, but yeah, the lightning is, I guess, a physical form
Yeah,
of it.
but you're right about the Force as the Force goes. But that's the only other time I see. So this is I think the third only time you see a physical presence like that beam going up. That's the Force. He was making a a Skype call right there.
It's like a forced
You know what?
beacon.
Exactly.
That's exactly what that
So
was.
do you-
Absolutely.
Do you think that anybody else besides what's his name, Moff?
Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon. Do you think anyone else besides him saw that beacon?
Well,
Because he obviously
Um,
saw it. That's why he came.
Well, that was what we were waiting on last week. Was what was the Jedi that was going to show up? So I would imagine some Jedi picked up on it.
Hopefully, she said if they
But-
were in the area, they would see it.
yeah.
Yeah, but who knows what's in the area? There's not a lot of
Right.
Jedi left.
So
in
what
this,
is it? Maybe that a calling card to a Force ghost? I think it's going to be a physical.
That's what I expected.
But-
I expected a Force ghost to show up. Yoda.
No,
or
you
something.
can't. No, you can't.
Yoda would be the easiest because he'd be the easiest to de-age.
I think
you know?
like I told you last week's episode. It'd be badass if it was Mace Windu, which is a possibility. But I think it's gonna be that.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
And just some inside information is that the actor made it very clear he'd be happy to come back to do anything that's Star Wars related. He made that very clear. So that's not me trying to cheat, but just saying now they know it's out there. It's a possibility. But I think they're going to do a new character, a new person playing a character from the clone from Rebels. Is that Isra? Is that his name? I keep saying it wrong. I might be saying it wrong. But the Jedi.
Oh, you mean?
I'll look it up.
No, I don't know who you mean.
Talk amongst yourselves, and I'll come back.
I mean, it's a good possibility. Do you think that does Moff Gideon, him having the black saber, mean that he's a Sith?
No.
No, the dark saber is a relic from like the ancient times.
Oh,
But-
okay. So then,
and-
how did he
and
see
that-
the beacon?
I don't know. I think that he knew that he was going there. Like I don't think that it was the beacon that called.
All right.
him.
Oh, okay.
So I was right. Ezra Bridger is the Jedi from Rebels. That's the one I think that it's going to be either Mace Windu or this guy here. Those are my bets right here. Now to go back to the dark saber, that belongs to Bo-Katan. That's her saber. That's
Right.
That belongs to her. So we're not done with Bo-Katan at all. And
But
No,
that's just
no.
one of the old vibroblades from the old Republic. So that's
So you don't
it's
need
the
to have
thing
the
that-
Force to wield it.
right. No, exactly. It came before lightsabers,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
okay.
that is actually that's true. So
but it's really badass. Still, it's such a kick-ass weapon.
Yeah.
Well,
And I loved his. You put your eye out, kid. Little comment with it to Baby
yes,
Yoda.
yes.
But Baby Yoda's gonna put your eye out with it.
Yeah,
just like
dude.
Like I expect to see something close to the Breaking Bad ending with him walking out of a room half a body,
But this
You
scene
know.
here, you're talking.
push some buttons on his chest piece and fall over.
Oh
But
man.
this whole scene when he did the whole Force calling call, and then they're just going out with the troopers, dude. This is what I was waiting for. I'm sitting in my living room, watching a nice big size screen and watching Star Wars, and they're going at it like, I love this. I love seeing stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And then when Boba Fett showed up, if I might be, hope I'm not jumping ahead, but it's just freaking badass. I was just happy. I was like, I'm 8 years old, I'm 10, I'm 13, I'm fucking going nuts over this. Great experience.
Yeah. It was such a throwback scene. It was so awesome. It felt like you said, like I was watching Star Wars. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, Disney's doing such a good job with this show.
Jon Favreau is doing such a good job.
This is true, but Disney took the foresight. And they got the right person to run it. And this is, I hate to say that, this is the guy who should be running Lucasfilms. Jon Favreau.
Definitely.
And they're keeping their hands off it. I will say that's something I bitch a lot about it with movies. And credit where credit's due. Disney the corporation is staying out of it, and they're letting the writer make his story. You know, the director and stuff.
Yeah.
They're letting
You know
them
what?
alone.
And this is just me foreshadowing things, is because Disney understands that streaming is the future. They're going to make more money doing streaming than they would releasing these movies. And they're smart. I gotta give it to them. They know what they're doing. Just look in the future. Yeah, go ahead.
Warner Brothers seems to think so.
Warner Brothers is right to think so. Absolutely. I mean, I'll be happy to talk about that too. But you're 100% correct. They're doing the format that Disney's been doing, and Disney showed. And keep in mind, you guys, we're only watching one show, and that's all they need to keep someone subscribed for a whole year. Is the thought of The Mandalorian for next year. I'm already sold for the next 4 years. Disney got my money for the next 2 years for sure. And that's the thing. They're doing well with the show. You're right. They're right for the guys who are running the showrunners, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They're killing it, and they know what they're doing. Every episode just drips with what we as Star Wars fans, new and old, everyone can relate to this show. They picked a great show to do on TV.
100%. And this is like a perfect example of what happens when you give the original content creator the control over to the live action. Like when you see adaptations of anime and video games to movie, it's always horrible because they never let the original creators work on it. But now Dave Filoni's on every single thing for this, and it's amazing. It's perfect because he knows what it should be, and he knows what it should look like, and the world and what the people want, you know. And it's not, like you guys said, it's not being controlled by Disney, by the executives. It's being controlled by the people who love the content. And so you can tell they enjoy it. They're listening to what the fans want, and they're doing a great job. It's the best thing on TV right now.
And I think, yeah. And also keep in mind is that they're definitely dropping Easter eggs, but not so much in your face. All right? Like, I give you an example. The only episode I had a problem with was last year when they went to Tatooine for the first time. Because I always felt like, hey, guys, check it out. You've seen this before. Hey, Star Wars fans, we're doing you good. And they didn't need to do that. And I think they learned that because in Season 2, they went back to Tatooine, but to a whole different city. Which, and now think about it. Yeah, they could have gone to Tatooine at Mos Eisley and do the same thing, but we wouldn't I think we got a better episode. Hey, there's another town? And it made a great explanation why. And I think they learned that because that's the only episode I did not like because I felt that was so over fan service. But I think Season 2, they learned to pull back and just put enough gems in there to get to the deep cuts.
Well, they already had another city in Episode 1, not Chapter 1, but in Star Wars Episode 1, they had Mos Espa, which is where they went and met Anakin.
Yeah.
So you did have
that's my point, yeah.
Mos Eisley and Mos Espa. And so they definitely could use those. But the one thing that I've realized is they always feel a need, and even with the director's best intentions, they always feel a need to feed the fans as early on as possible. And I'll give them the credit for that. They got it out of the way, and they've never bothered really doing that again. Mm-hmm. So for the real diehard fans, the ones that are going to complain about everything anyway, they're just like, here's what you want to see. There it is. That's it. You got it. Now shut up.
And yeah, in some cases, right. I feel myself, I am a Star Wars fan, movies, games, couple of books, but I'm not so hardcore where I can name the planet where Yoda was born. If there's such an answer to that question, I don't know it. And I think I'm glad that the Star Wars series is trying to have their own. Hey, we know you love this universe, but let's just go a different way, and we're going to use it through the through Mandalorian. This opens up so much of the Star Wars universe. You open up the Clone Wars for that information, and Rebels now, and I'm just looking forward to season 4. I'm already. You got me already for season 2. I'm waiting for the big finale. I'm waiting to go. Oh my God! No, I gotta wait another year.
Yeah.
It's coming. Is it coming through showing Thrawn? Maybe not. But either way, we're in it for something. The last 2 episodes. Or I'm already upset that I already seen them is over. I gotta wait a whole damn year. So I'm already upset about, but I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yep. And I like that. We were just talking last week about how this show might have an effect on streaming services. Did you think we'd find evidence and proof as quickly as we did? I found that to be amusing.
I'm sorry, it broke up.
There was 2 things we talked about last week. Yeah, I can hear you. There was 2 things we talked about last week. One was if this show would change the way streaming services kind of operated, and within 5 days, Warner Brothers announced the
every movie
theater and stream release for every film. Like there's theaters that are very upset about that. AMC is fighting really hard against that. But we also talked about how much of Boba Fett that we would see. Like, would we see him in his armor? And I can tell you, I did not expect to see him in his armor this episode.
Yeah. And I think there's a great opportunity for Weight Watchers to get involved with the Star Wars universe. I would say that it was cool seeing Boba Fett in full garb and everything. But for a second, like, it felt like, is that Homer in there? It's like, but
like he walks out and goes, "Hey."
This is me saying, okay, this is what they should have done, because I thought they were going to like combine the new look of Boba Fett with the old Boba Fett, and they could have. I don't know why they put all that same. Hey, there's Boba Fett again, but yeah, that was from the 30 years ago. It would have been badass because he's been on this planet for a while. That robe they had on mixed with it. There's a picture of what I thought he was going to look like. And they didn't deliver on that. And that would have been badass. I'll show it to you later, Ross. But I really thought they're going to have this kind of look for him for the TV series. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see Boba Fett in full gear and doing this because he delivered. He delivered big time on his scene. You wanted Boba Fett, you saw him in action. Better than any other movie or show. This was the best Boba Fett episode or Boba Fett character on screen.
100%. You didn't like his look with his robe?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. The robe was cool, but not. Once he put the gear on, it looked like
the robe was underneath it.
Oh, there's one that's kind of like draping over him, and like his arms through the cape, and it looked so badass. And it was a combination of the old Boba Fett with this new one. I thought they were gonna do that. They may do it in the next episode or whenever they show him again. But this one here, I'll send you a picture, Matt, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really cool though. It's still.
So if last week, if I had tried to get you to put money down on whether or not Boba Fett had honor or not,
they made it very
like the fact that he's like, I'm in your debt until this is resolved. It's like, holy crap, Boba Fett's an honorable man. I didn't see that coming.
I agree. I thought it was wild when he was like, okay, give me my armor and I will guarantee you and the child will live forever. And I'm like, whoa, that armor means a lot to you, I guess.
Yeah, I like how he said he brought his receipt of this armor. Listen, bitch, here's my proof of this is my. I love that.
He's like,
but even with his proof and Din agreeing with him, that he could keep it. He was still like, no, I'm going to honor the agreement. This isn't done until we get your kid back. And
right.
I was like, that's badass.
I agree too. That was pretty cool. It was really cool.
He's like, look under the underwear. You'll see my name.
Exactly.
Well, somebody already deciphered all the words they could out of that.
Oh, really?
And they say like it shows the chain of like who owned it. Like they took care in putting that together.
Wow.
Yeah, anything that's in writing in some Star Wars Elvish language, there's an actual dictionary. See, I used to get a lot of smack to Star Trek fans learning Klingon. Now I got freaking Star Wars fans deciphering letter An alphabet.
Yeah.
Well, but that's internet fans. They'll take and do whatever they can with it.
Right.
But at least we don't have people speaking like Huddies
Yeah,
and stuff
it's
like
like,
that.
I don't want to go on a date. I got to decipher this code from this episode. I'm not going out.
It probably was the Zodiac killer.
Oh my, that is so.
The baby
Matt
Yoda
said
killer.
that the Zodiac Killer is a Star Wars fan because after Star Wars came out,
100%.
Zodiac Killer stopped. There was no more killing after Star Wars. You have broken it. Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
So can we talk about the chick that became the sheriff or whatever?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Kara.
Yeah, Kara.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how when he went up to her and he was just like, "Oh, I never thought you'd go straight," and she's like, "Well, I never said that." And then he's like, "You think you can help me?" And she's like, "Wait a minute, I have rules."
I'm an official. I can't do those things anymore. Not like the good old days, you know.
Yeah.
And that's actually another thing from last week. We talked about how I was saying that I don't think, because people are like, oh, these side quest things that he's done, like they're just taking away from his main mission. But I think they're setting up something to pay off at the end, like him getting all the weapons for Bo-Katan and her crew in the first episode. Like, I think all that stuff's going to pay off a little bit. And now, in this episode, we see all the way from last season that,
Car.
yeah, I can't even think of the guy's name anymore. Not Kara, but the prisoner.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Burr, but I can't think of the character name right now. But the fact that they're bringing him back, to be like, oh no, I need him for.
He did such a great job in that
That's pretty
episode.
cool.
That prison break episode was one of my. I think he did an awesome job. That's why they're bringing him back. He killed it.
Dude,
That was my favorite of last season for sure.
He could be like a regular. Like they could get him and Carl Weathers and Din, and they can call it Three Men and a Little Yoda. And I don't even care, man. I will be on board.
That
I'll
should
watch
be a
that.
meme. You need to work on that. But I tell you what, that you're right. They like Bill Burr. He'll be back for multiple episodes. If he doesn't die in this one, he'll be coming back more often. That's my prediction. If he doesn't die,
Do you think he'll be with that? Will he be with that brother sister combo? His team.
Well, he wasn't asking about releasing them, and
That's
they all
true.
are in
Yeah.
prison.
What if he's like, I can only do it if I have.
I don't think that's it. I can't wait to hear his first line. You guys want me or whatever. I cannot wait.
And I don't think Bill Burr has that kind of loyalty. His character on the show has that kind of loyalty to anyone.
That's true.
Like, I'm sure he's a fine guy, but his character is kind of a scoundrel. So
And plus, if he doesn't,
I think he'll be like, I'm getting out. All right,
Yeah.
I'm out. Boom.
oh
Bye,
yeah, I
guys.
cannot wait to next week's episode. I'm telling you what, it's. You're right. I totally forgot about Bill Burr and his character, but yeah, that's like. So I saw his picture, like, okay, I'm good. This is, like I said, every episode they got me hooked for the next one. I'm like, I cannot wait till Friday. Cannot wait till Friday.
Yeah.
And it had been this giggly over a show since Walking Dead season 1 through 5, whichever one where Carl gets demised. That was it for me. But spoiler alert, sorry people.
They all sucked after 3.
No, you built early. I can't deal with it. I was holding out for the Negan story. I was waiting for that one.
No, that show is the ultimate case of blue balls. They keep like saying, "Oh, something really crazy is going to happen." Nope, nothing really crazy is going to happen.
Yep, that's cool though.
Yeah, I do like how Mandalorian feels like it's like episodic. So it's like, it has its overarching thing. Like at first I was a little complaining about how each episode just felt like they were just building and building and building and building, and like it's like every episode it's like, I need to save this kid. Here, go talk to this person. He goes talks to that person. They're like, wait, no, you gotta go talk to this person, and then he goes and talks to that person, and it's all over the place. But it's kind of like like Dr. Quinn Medicine Mando.
but every time he goes somewhere, he's getting information for his mission. I hear you're absolutely correct. It seems like, okay, what this week's mission is. But it is moving forward, but we are still getting. But keep in mind, it is an episodic episode. You can do the same thing with most shows. It's a setup and then delivery. So we know this. Mando got to go to this planet. Hey, while you're here, could you help out with this? And they get the information. So he's never been duped. He does. The story is moving forward. But yeah, you're expecting wherever you're going to meet somebody, we need you. Hey, we're a bunch of villagers. Can you help take care of these ghost those ATST walkers walking around. We need your help. There's always something, which is that
Right.
was the point of the Mandalorian, because he's flying around doing stuff. As we can clearly see, he's not a bad guy. And the same with Boba Fett. Boba Fett just comes off of that. He was doing his job. He was hired to try Han Solo, and he did a good job at it. So
Right.
Yeah.
His Boba Fett's loyalty is to the
and
paycheck.
then in Mandalorian,
Yeah, he even said in this one, I have no allegiance to anyone.
yeah. And he made that very clear. So yeah, he made out to be a bad guy, and he's really not. He's a fucking bounty hunter. So there you go.
Just a simple man trying to make his
And
way
I
in the
love that
galaxy.
he
Yep.
said that line.
Yep.
He was because he was in the room. He was in the room and he said that is so true.
But how cold? He didn't even get choked up,
Nah, but that's cool though. That was cool. That was a cool line. I'm glad they threw that in there. I giggled at that stuff. I was like, hee, tackle the clones. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, if you can put dialogue, but not so over the top, but it felt perfect. It's like it belonged. That line worked perfectly. It didn't seem like it was overkill or thrown over your, beating over your head with it. Perfect line. I'm like my dad. Matter of fact, it's me. It's me older. I'm looking at myself.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do in this episode, and they got me excited for the rest of the season. And that's kind of all the time we've got today, but we appreciate you tuning in. I'd like to thank our guest, Matt. Oh, I didn't introduce none of us in this episode. We're just the anonymous podcasters. But I'd like to thank our guest, Matt Olson.
Thanks for having me.
And, of course, I'm Ross motherfucking Miller.
Got yourself your Tony Lamarr.
And this has been From the Belly of the Sarlacc. I need to get some belly groans for this part. I'll have to find that.
No.
No, I want like digestion noises, when you get the bubbles going around the intestinal
Okay,
maze.
let's just all at the count of 3 make our own bubble noise.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Join in, everybody.
There you
Send us your clip doing it.
And we will feature you on next week's episode. All right. And as always, if you have any complaints, corrections, whatever, put them in the comments and we'll start a conversation. Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.